Have you ever noticed how perfumes behave differently when the weather shifts? A scent you lived in all summer suddenly becomes thin, sharp the moment the cold hits. Another fragrance you barely paid attention to suddenly becomes irresistible in November. It happens to me every year. For a long time, I assumed I was imagining it. Then I started reading about how fragrance materials respond to temperature. Some ingredients bloom in warm air, and others actually contract in the cold. A Kigala wood is a good example. I kept coming across comments that it tightens when temperatures drop instead of opening up. Suddenly, so many things made sense. Quentin Biche is one of my favorite perfumers, and several perfumes I wear from him use a Kigala wood. Scents I adore in June feel hollow by October. Others that confuse me during the heat become beautiful in cold air. And it isn't just a Kigala wood. Citrus notes like lime and grapefruit lose their sparkle in low temperatures. Aquatic notes vanish. Mint and eucalyptus make you feel colder. Light florals like lily or violet get muted. Some aldehydes smell metallic instead of breezy. But the good news is that cold air also brings certain notes to life. Vanilla becomes plush, resins get sweeter, honey glows, woods feel smoother, jasmine turns creamy. A fragrance that felt too heavy in August becomes perfect in November. So today, I want to walk you through the 10 perfumes in my collection that truly carry me from fall into winter. These are bottles that come alive the moment the temperature drops. And I'll tell you how they smell, why they work so well in the cold, and what shifts once the air turns crisp. Let's start with one of the most beautiful discoveries of this year. Trudon 45 degrees. Trudon is one of the oldest heritage houses in France. They began in the 17th century as candle makers for the royal court and the great churches of Paris. Their candles still feel like pieces of history. Recently, they stepped into fine fragrance with a small, thoughtful collection. This year, they added a new trio, and 45 degrees immediately caught my attention. It feels warmer and more intimate than what they've done before. The first spray gives you a soft honey glow. It isn't sugary, it's a gentle warmth across the skin with a brightness from the bergamot that keeps everything lifted. Then the vanilla arrives. Not a gourmand vanilla, but a smooth, resinous one with a quiet woodiness running through it. As it settles, the benzoin begins to bloom. Cold air does something beautiful to benzoin. It becomes velvety and comforting, almost like slipping into a cashmere sweater. On coats and scarves, 45 degrees is even better. It hangs on for hours and leaves this soft golden aura behind you without ever feeling heavy. It has become one of my most worn scents this season and one of the strongest examples of how cold weather can elevate a perfume. Fragrance du Bois, Sirène. Fragrance du Bois is known for one thing above all, oud. Not outsourced oud, not generic lab-grown oud, but sustainably grown oud from their own plantations through Asia Plantation Capital. That level of control gives their fragrance a depth and smoothness you can smell immediately. Sirène was composed by Nanako Ogi and built around a warm cherry accord that feels full and glowing. The opening has a gentle pepper lift, but the cherry takes over quickly and transitions into a round sweetness. Then the oud comes in. It's clean, polished, and beautifully handled. There's no smoke here. There's no poopy smell, just depth. In the cold, Sirène becomes richer and more inviting. The amber and the woods expand on fabric, and the cherry note becomes almost plush. This isn't a shy perfume. It is sweet, feminine, and very pleasant. One of the most wearable cherry oud fragrances on the market, and an easy choice when you want something warm and confident as the weather drops. Diptyque Orphéon. Diptyque is one of Paris's quiet legends. Founded in 1961 by three creatives, the brand began as a boutique selling fabrics and art objects. Eventually, their scented candles and perfumes became iconic. Today, they're owned by Manzanita Capital, and they've kept their slightly bohemian artistic spirit alive. Orphéon is named after a bar in Saint-Germain. where the founders used to gather. It wasn't a glamorous destination, it was simply a meeting place, the kind tucked away in the corner where artists and friends exchanged ideas. Without this perfume, most people would never have known about this bar. My brother gifted me this fragrance, and I think about it every time I wear it. Olivier Peuchot built it around juniper berries that felt crisp and bright, almost like stepping into cold night air. There's jasmine in the center, but it never feels truly floral in an obvious way. Instead, it blends into cedar, powder, and tonka in the base. The dry down is where Orphéon becomes truly beautiful in winter. The powder feels airy instead of dense. The woods become smooth and quietly radiant. It has that clean, modern elegance Diptyque does so well. It is a perfect perfume when you want something fresh and floral that still carries weight in the cold air. Perris Monte Carlo, Ylang Nosy Bee. Perris Monte Carlo is a house that perfume collectors deeply respect. They focus on raw materials and single origin ingredients. Ylang Nosy Bee comes from an island off Madagascar known for some of the finest ylang in the world. It is richer and creamier than the usual varieties. From the first spray, the fragrance feels golden. The ylang is warm, smooth, slightly fruity in that refined ylang way. Cardamom adds a gentle warmth, and the citrus touches stay soft. They don't get lost in the cold air. What makes this so good for the fall to winter shift is the natural weight of the floral notes. Ylang doesn't collapse in the cold. It becomes creamier and more comforting. On scarves, it leaves a soft glow that lasts for hours. This is a floral that feels substantial without ever turning heavy. Manos Gerakinis Amandus. Manos Gerakinis is an independent perfume house with strong Greek roots. The brand treats perfumery as storytelling and works closely with perfumers to create scents that reflect memory, emotion, and culture rather than just trends. Amandus is one of their most recognizable new creations. It opens with a gentle almond that feels warm and smooth, then comes salted caramel and dates. Not in a dessert way, but in a soft, sensual way that sits close to your skin. As the fragrance settles, the almond becomes creamier and the sweetness evens out into something refined. Cold air transforms Amandus beautifully. The scent becomes rounder, smoother, and more comforting. It has sweetness, but never too syrupy. This is the fragrance I reach for when I want something indulgent that feels grown and very elegant in winter. Guerlain Tobacco Honey. Guerlain is one of the true heritage houses that has kept its perfumery in-house. Founded in 1828, they have watched the perfume world change many times, yet they have protected their own identity. Even under LVMH ownership, they still produce their fragrances themselves and maintain an official lead perfumer. That position's held by Delphine Ylang, and you can feel the clarity of her vision across the collection. Tobacco Honey is one of her most masterful works. It opens with honey that feels golden and warm, never sticky. The tobacco underneath is soft, almost like dried leaves rather than smoke. As it dries down, cloves and anise appear, giving a quiet, cozy warmth. What makes Tobacco Honey shine in winter is the density of the honey. Cold air turns it velvety, and the tobacco adds a gentle shadow that makes the whole perfume deeper. It lasts beautifully on coats and scarves, and on hair. It becomes richer the longer you wear it. Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musc. Narciso Rodriguez is one of the only designer houses that treats musk like an art form. Their fragrances are known for being soft, skin-like, quietly addictive. Pure Musc captures that idea perfectly. Created by Sonia Constant, it opens with a smooth, luminous musk that feels clean and modern. There are subtle florals woven into the center and a gentle woodiness in the base that gives it depth. On cold days, the musk becomes rounder and warmer, almost like your favorite sweater holding onto your perfume. This is the scent I reach for when I want to feel polished without wearing something heavy. In the winter, it feels even more elegant and effortless. J.F. Schwarzlose Berlin Finale. J.F. Schwarzlose is one of those names that quietly sits in the background of perfume history until you start digging. Founded in Berlin in 1856, it began as a pharmacy and evolved into a perfume house known for structure, characterful scents that felt very of the city long before niche was a category. After disappearing for decades, the brand was revived with a modern lens, but it kept its backbone. Nothing here feels generic or rushed. Finale is one of the newest launches, composed by Veronique Nyberg. On paper, it's an oriental, but on skin, it feels like a modern, atmospheric winter fragrance. The opening is surprisingly juicy. You get nectarine right away with that soft, fuzzy sweetness that feels almost like biting into a ripe fruit in cold air. Davana adds this boozy, honeyed warmth around it, and the pink pepper gives a quiet sparkle so it never turns sticky. Then the heart arrives, and this is where Finale becomes interesting. The Tura brings a slightly narcotic, creamy floral tone, but it never gets heady. It simply cushions the tobacco and benzoin. The tobacco is not smoky in a vintage way. It feels more like the scent of a coat that has been in a room where people were talking late, laughing, maybe someone smoked earlier in the night. The benzoin adds that soft, resinous sweetness underneath, turning everything more velvety as it develops. In the base, guaiac wood, balsam fir, vetiver pull the perfume firmly into cold weather territory. The guaiac gives a smooth, almost lacquered wood effect. Balsam fir adds a subtle, forest-like greenness that feels very winter, but in an elegant city way rather than a Christmas candle. Vetiver keeps the whole composition upright and slightly dry, so the sweetness never takes over. On skin, especially on scarves and coats and hair, Finale feels like a story unfolding over an evening. It starts luminous and slightly fruity, then deepens into tobacco and resins, and finally settles into wood, fir, and a touch of smoke. For fall into winter, it works beautifully because it has movement. It begins with a bit of light, then leans into warmth and shadow, exactly what the season does outside your window. Meo Fusciuni, Little Song. Meo Fusciuni is one of those rare independent houses where the entire emotional world of the brand comes from one person, Giuseppe Imprezzabile. He's a trained botanist, a researcher, and a perfumer, and you can sense that background in the way he composes. His fragrances don't rush, they grow and shift and reveal themselves like chapters. Little Song is one of those perfumes that tested me the most. The coffee note in warm weather felt almost too intense, too bitter, like it was vibrating at a wrong frequency on my skin. I kept trying to understand it, but it just wasn't clicking. Then fall arrived, and suddenly I understood the perfume. In the cold air, the sharpness melts away. The pepper and ginger feel warmer, the coffee turns thick, almost like a scent of a quiet cafe latte at night. Rose in the center is subtle, just enough to soften the edges, and the base, patchouli, labdanum, and musk finally settles into this dark, comforting hum that wraps around you instead of pushing forward. This bottle also has a personal story for me. My brother gifted it to me after I interviewed Giuseppe, and those who want to dive deeper into this world can read the full interview in the description. I'll throw the link. Knowing the man behind the perfume makes Little Song even more meaningful. It's one of those fragrances that simply cannot be judged in the summer. It belongs to cold air, and once the temperature drops, it becomes something intimate, textured, and unexpectedly beautiful. Chanel Misia. Chanel is one of the few major houses that still protects its craft fully. They grow their own flowers and grass, guard their formulas, and create everything through their in-house nose, Olivier Polge. Les Exclusives is the collection where you truly feel that level of control. Misia was created as a tribute to Misia Sartre, Coco Chanel's closest friend. It is built around violet, rose, and iris, capturing the powdery world of theater dressing rooms and early 20th century makeup. For a long time, I didn't love it. On a warm skin, it felt too makeup-y and flat. Pretty, but not compelling. Then winter came. Cold air gives Misia dimension. The powder softens, the rose becomes rounder, the aldehyde stops smelling just simply like cosmetics and starts smelling airy and clean. Suddenly, the whole perfume makes sense. It turns into a refined winter floral with a vintage touch that feels unexpectedly modern in the cold. Winter has a way of revealing the true character of a perfume. Some shrink, some vanish, and some finally show you what they were built to be. These 10 fragrances are the ones that carried me from fall into winter this year. Each one transforms in cold air, each one becomes more beautiful as the temperature drops, and each one holds a different kind of warmth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into cold weather perfumes, make sure you like this video and follow the channel. It helps more than you know, and it lets me keep bringing you honest reviews, real conversations, and the kind of fragrance storytelling we all love. Let me know which of these scents you've been wearing this season, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.